Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you back to the second episode of the In the Shit podcast. Again, my name is Judson Miller, and I'm here with my friend Curtis Burbage.
Let's get it.
So we're going to go ahead and jump right back in and get into the shit. After our first episode, I think we've kind of got this thing together, man. I feel like
Yeah.
we were rolling pretty good towards the end there.
Oh, it went good, man.
Yeah, I'm happy about that. So I know you were mentioning you've got some ideas for today's broadcast. What are you thinking?
All right. So here's something I think that people would like to know about you. What's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you?
Ooh, the most embarrassing, of
If,
all time?
if you've got two, then you fire one and I'll fire one. Then you fire one.
Oh man, that's a real good question. Gosh, I feel like I've done a lot of things, but I don't let things embarrass me that much because, I mean, if it's at that point, I don't know if I can even control it, you know? I tell you what, if you've got one on the brain, you go first, and I'll have mine by the time you get back.
All right. Well, I mean, see, like, here's the thing. It's hard for me to get embarrassed. I mean, you got to think about it. You grew up, kid with Tourette's, twitching all over the place and shit, going to a new school.
Yeah, I can see how that'd be a problem.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's really hard to, like, hurt your feelings or embarrass you, right? And I don't know. I feel like I have a pretty strong tolerance for embarrassment. But one time in particular, and I know you haven't heard this shit story yet.
Oh gosh, is this a shit story?
This is the shit story.
Are we getting in the shit right here in the second episode?
This is straight up in the shit though. I mean, this was
man.
So me and my wife went to Longhorns with my son. About the time he's about 4, and we're sitting there, we're eating and stuff. We're ready to go. We're gonna go Target right there. We're right over there, North Charleston, and we go wash our hands before we leave. So I'm sitting there and I wash my hands. Huh?
I said, as you do.
Yeah. No, I'm fine, dude. We were good. Me and my son went and peed and stuff. So we're about to leave, and this feels like a cannonball drops in the bottom of my stomach, dude. I've never felt so much pressure in my life. I mean, I instantly started sweating. So I said, son, go outside of your mom. Go outside of your. He's like, I got the door, daddy. So I run into the stall. I start toilet papering the seat, right? Like Stifler, or no, like shit break on American Pie, right? So I'm like toilet papering.
Make you a little nest, right?
Dude, like he goes, I hear him strain, like, Dad, I can't get the door. I'm like, son, please. So I was
need
like,
you to help me, kid.
He was struggling, bro. And the good Lord couldn't put somebody in his path to open that door for him. I had to go to be the one to do it.
Right, of course.
As soon as I get there, it's like a little squirt comes out. And I'm like, oh my God, dude.
No.
Like, and he's like, what's wrong, Dad? Did you poop your pants? I was like, get out of here. So I run back in that stall and like slam the door, lock it. And dude, like, I mean, I'm about to puke. It hurt so bad. I bend over, man. And that was a wrap. I couldn't even sit. It was like the angry dragon came out of my ass.
Oh no!
It went everywhere, dude. Like it. I mean, like when I look back, I just was in amazement that was going on with my body.
That came out of you,
dude. Like it was like The Exorcist, except for when she puked all over the dude, except for it was the opposite end, and I just couldn't help but like look back at the carnage, and it was like up the wall on the sides. I mean, like 2 foot each way. And I was like, oh my God, dude. I was so embarrassed, right? Then, I already threw away my favorite pair of drawers I was wearing.
right?
And I was like, oh my God, I got shit stained back. I mean, it was horrible. It was the most embarrassing experience ever. Well, I'm sitting there waiting on people to clear out of the bathroom so I could run out. But at that point, I'm looking and I'm like, Jesus Christ, how do I clean this up?
Right, because you don't want to leave it.
I had no choice because I didn't have a pressure washer in a wet vac, dude. Because there's no way.
You just walk out like Ace Ventura,
dude.
Woo! Do not go in there.
Oh man, I was so I sit there, dude. I just was like, kept putting my hands up in the air, like, what do I do? Like someone's going to quit their job today because of this. You know what I'm saying?
You're ruining someone's life.
Dude, I mean, I couldn't go out there and say, hey, I shit in your bathroom.
Right.
All
How do you have that
floor.
conversation?
Yeah, there's just no way. And so I just, I said, hey, I'm sorry. I was going to leave a note, but I didn't have no paper.
So, you just write it in Dookie on the back of the door.
It was horrible, dude. It was horrible. So I made a video, right? Because my wife.
Oh, no.
Okay, let me explain. I'm not that sick, but I had to make a video because normally my wife goes, oh, you're in there playing your golf game on your phone, taking too long or whatever, right?
Right.
But, at that time, it didn't really dawn on me the shit stain would be proof enough. So I made a little video just the carnage. Well, there's a country song. I can't remember what song it was playing in the background, but it goes well with the video. And my son, he wanted to watch it. But anyway, I jacked my pants up, pulled my shirt down a little bit. And I said, you know what? No one can see this shit stain. I ran out of the restaurant. My wife's out by the car pissed because here I am 20 minutes later. And I said, I need to go to Ross and buy me some new clothes.
Oh, man.
And she's like, why? And I was like, just please go to Ross. And I turn around and she's like, oh my God. Well, I guess I didn't have my shirt pulled down far enough and you could see the shit stain all the way out of the Longhorns. So yeah, I was embarrassed. It was pretty bad. And then my son's making up songs while we were waiting. It was like songs on the radio about his dad pooping himself.
Everybody poops, right? I mean,
but not like this one. Like this one, I've never done one like this in my life.
So, did you make an attempt to clean up? I mean, did you just leave?
I grabbed a handful of toilet paper and I wiped just one spot, and I said, "Yeah." I mean, there's going to be
this is going to happen.
They're going to need like Stanley steamer, somebody to come in there with some equipment like that. There's no mop buckets going to clean that shit up. I mean, thank God. I mean, yeah, you know what? I guess you could have shot vac it with some water and shit, but it was pretty bad.
Right.
And it was embarrassing knowing I walked through a restaurant with a big ass shit stain on the back of my white jeans. I mean, they weren't white, but like lightly colored jean shorts. So.
Right. And everybody, I mean, they probably had to clear out the restaurant for a couple days.
Dude, like I wouldn't even go back there for a while. Like, because just in case someone
remember you,
just in case they pulled the camera footage of who ran out of the bathroom. They have my face up. Do not let this guy come back in our bathroom.
Yeah, it's like, some restaurants have like pictures of people with bad checks up on the wall.
Oh.
And they've just got a picture of you.
Yeah. And like nobody believed my story, right? So I would say, hey, even the guys at work, I'd be like, hey, man, you ain't going to believe what happened to me. And I tell them like, bullshit, it wasn't that bad. So look at this video. And I'll show them the video. And they're like, oh my. And then it become one of those things like, dude, look at this video of Curtis shit himself. If I was watching the video.
Oh my gosh.
Nobody watches more than like a second of it and they go, oh, Jesus Christ. But yeah, so that was a pretty embarrassing moment.
Was Bob Saget involved at all? I mean, did he come in?
Dude, I mean, like there was a guy like he definitely, I think he might have been Spanish descent or something. I could hear a different language going on in there, and it was like quietness because I think he heard me yell out, "Oh my God!"
Yeah, right.
Exactly. And it's like he told his little boy. I think he has a little boy in there with him. I think he told him to be quiet for a second. And he was trying to listen to what the deal was. But yeah, I waited. I watched him through the crack, man. And I kept my feet up a little bit where you couldn't really see me.
Right.
You didn't know I was watching him.
God.
Yeah, I had to get out of there, dude.
So I feel like this. I wasn't expecting that. I'll be honest. I feel like this should be a segment in our podcast. So now would be a good time to unveil our brand new email address, which is intheshit69@gmail.com. So if you want to email us your most embarrassing story, me and Kurt will talk about it on the radio or on the podcast here. So,
or if you got any questions for us, something you want to know.
Yeah, anything. I mean, whatever you want to email us.
Or ideas for our show.
I mean, funny pictures of dogs.
Yeah.
The email is open for whatever you want to send.
Yeah. You like boobs. I mean,
yeah.
For you, Judson, not me, I'm married, but I'll look. But I mean, I'm not going to.
Yeah, we'll judge them. We can. I tell you what would also be funny is you remember that website from back in the day, ratemypoo.com. So I think we should bring that back. I tell you what, intheshit69@gmail.com. Send us a picture of your duty, and we will give it. Give it a rating.
I've got one of Ben's. When Ben shit in the portalette at work.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, like I had to take a picture of it because I've never seen one that orange of a color.
Orange? Why would it be orange?
I've got no clue what that kid's eating.
I mean, he drinks a lot of energy drinks.
I do too, but my shit's never that orange. Dude.
Yeah, he drinks a lot of questionable energy drinks.
Oh yeah, he does those those free trial ones.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no telling.
That's what happens when you grew up in Montana, though.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to Montana. I'm sitting here trying to think of a time that I was embarrassed, but I really can't think of any. I feel like my life has been pretty good up into that. Maybe I'm just under so much trauma that I just push those out of my mind. But I will continue to think about that, and we'll come back to it. I promise.
All right.
So with the email address, what? Oh, now you got me interested in this orange shit. I'm not gonna lie, man.
Dude, I'll see if I can find a picture of it and show it to you. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, and it was like it's like you would think that it would be a little runny or whatever, but I mean, he actually did some good substance on that.
It was good and solid.
It was, it wasn't like really round, but I mean, it would look like a logo. Like we could have actually made that out of our logo.
Oh, we should have made that into our logo. Maybe we still can. I mean, we can change it, right?
But Ben's got shit issues though.
Yeah, I heard it. I heard that he did.
He has a hard time shitting. If if I go in the bathroom and I blow it up and my stomach's hurting and stinks, he'll leave work and go to a gas station and shit. I mean, what the hell? I mean, he works for shit every day.
Yeah, that's not the case for me.
Mine.
Although I will admit, I think my poop habits are about to change. Normally I want to do all my pooping at work because that's when you're getting paid.
Yeah.
And but I'll be honest, I got a bidet for my birthday.
You showed me that.
Yeah, stuck that thing on the toilet, and the first time you use it, it's an experience. That cold water hits you in the butthole that first time, and let me tell you, just about came out of my skin there. So, and the next thing you know, I'm like looking for excuses to go poop. Like I'm trying to eat as much spicy stuff as I can so I can get into the toilet.
See, that right there is where I think it would benefit, dude. Like you eat a bunch of jalapeno. You ever like when you eat a bunch of hot stuff.
Oh yeah.
And you run to the bathroom and it's like the flaming dragon.
Oh, dude.
Oh.
Yeah. And see, when you got here, I was eating taco salad, and the whole time I'm like, "Oh, please make this into a
shit."
Please, I don't want it to be weird. Like I don't want everybody in the house to think I'm just running into the toilet to have my booty hole pressure washed. But
hey, that right there is such a sensitive subject around everybody, the booty hole situation. You remember at work the other day, that conversation we had?
Yeah, everybody gets all, and I think that's where the toxic masculinity comes in. That's something that I would like to get into in here because I feel like. You're a lot like me in the sense that toxic masculinity is not in your vocabulary. Well,
it's just everybody's so caught up.
Right.
They're worried about Mr. Potato Head
and their
being
image.
Gender neutral.
Yeah.
But they're not worried about they're worried about stuff like that where it affects their image and their egos.
Yeah, I mean everybody has to be like so super macho. It's like, oh, I don't even have a butthole, man. Yeah. Like that's how straight I am.
Hey, you know what, dude? That right there is one of those things that we started that conversation at work that one time.
Yes, the one time.
Well, this was before you actually got there, and it was at a pump. Better. It was at a pump station area where we were on the starter team of cleaning those out, and it was Ben and it was Rob and my buddy Josh who no longer works there, and we would start up screwed up conversations, and I think docking was one of them.
Oh god!
And I never knew what docking was until that day. And then we got into the whole booty hole thing, right? So I go home thinking that we're all going to go home and do a survey on our wives. Well, I was the only one who did it.
Oh well, of course.
Yeah, and my wife, she, kind of demasculated me a little bit and called me a few names. So then I got offended though, as in, hey. Well, this is bullshit. I want to lay there every now and then. Like let you do some work,
Right.
And I go back to work, and I'm pissed off the next day. Like that was something that was really, I went to her with the intention, I was like, hey, this is just a scenario. And I was like, what'd y'all's wives say? They're like, oh, we didn't ask our wives. I'm like, what?
Of course not.
I was like, you bastards, y'all left me out to dry. Now my wife's at home thinking her husband's, wanting dudes or something. So yeah, it ended up being a little hardcore.
That's actually something that I feel like for whatever reason I've dealt with a lot. Is I just don't care about that kind of stuff. I was we talked about being embarrassed. Dude, I was in Boy Scouts.
Yeah, I was for a little while.
That's one of and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And so everybody's like, oh, Boy Scouts But I mean, I enjoyed it. I'm the man I am today because of it. All the skills that I have either came from Boy Scouts or YouTube.
Yeah.
So
hell yeah.
It's funny that that's something that seems to be kind of a hotly contested subject. But, and then I went from there to wrestling in high school and college.
I wish I would have did that.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I bet you wish you could have rolled around with a bunch of sweaty dudes on the mat.
Hey, it looks so fun.
Especially
when you watch that video with that dude wrestling and they turn around like in almost like a 69 position. And the balls were and the guy on his back looking helpless.
It happens, man. We've all been there. Yeah, actually, after wrestling, I did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Nice.
And so there's that position's called the old north-south.
Hell yeah.
You don't want to find yourself in that position. So.
Hey, unless you've had a couple drinks.
Right. Now, sometimes. Now, if I'm on the mat, probably not.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I dabble a little bit. and karate, jiu-jitsu, stuff like that. My old man, he was like, he was Chuck Norris when Chuck Norris, was around.
Nice.
He was badass. He had his own schools and stuff, and he closed them down right when I was born.
Oh, so he was like legit.
No, he was legit.
Wow.
He's black belt in karate, kung fu, jiu-jitsu, and judo.
Dang.
Yeah. So he has several black belts, but it's funny is he signed me up in a school, and I said, dude, why don't you teach me? You don't teach your own kid. Well, I really never understood that until I become a parent.
Right.
And then I'm coaching, and I notice I ride the shit out of my kids compared to I do. And I hate it, and I try to stop myself, but I do understand now what he meant by you don't teach your own kid. And he put me in schools, but he'd get pissed off at the schools and be like, I can't watch them. They're screwing up everything I know. So.
Right. Yeah, that's one thing that I've noticed is like if I know anything about a situation, you wind up you can't watch TV shows about that. Mm-mm. I went to EMT school and was an EMT for a second there and it was not for me. Right. But now anytime I watch like a medical show, I'm like, this is so stupid. And with everything, like wrestling, any kind of sports, even photography now, like that's another skill that I've ruined for myself that I can't watch on TV because obviously, it's my way or the highway. If I think it is, it is. So, it doesn't matter how ignorant I may be in my own mind, like I'm the man.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Of course I can't just watch something and enjoy it. I have to ruin it for myself.
But and that's what's so funny is like, I really don't sit here and I don't put myself on a pedestal like people think I do. It's just because I talk so much shit.
Right.
I mean, like if you beat me in something, I'm going to ruin it for you.
Yes.
Because I'm going to find ways to make you think that you might have cheated in some way, even though you didn't, or I might have caught a leg cramp or something. That's why you beat me.
Exactly.
So I'm going to ruin it. Like you're not going to enjoy your win, even though you beat me fair and square. But people say you're so arrogant, you're so cocky. But it's more like just the fun of talking shit. Like, I'm a very big competitor.
Well, if you watch any kind of Canadian shows, like Letterkenny's a big one, chirping is, that's like a way of life for them. It's like weapons are the Mandalorian's religion, and I kind of feel like talking shit is a religion for a lot of people out there.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you, I have a PhD in talking shit. Like, I am a very big shit talker. Like, I grew up and brother 8-9 years older than me, and like I got my ass kicked on Friday night, so mom and daddy want to have a date night, and his buddies would come over, and the only thing I had was my words. Now if I could hurt some of their feelings before they beat my ass, at least I got a shot in. So.
Right. Yeah, you get down to the psychological warfare.
Oh, there's where you got to get them at, man.
And I think that's kind of one of the fun things about that we'll have with this podcast. I feel like we'll be able to, kind of go back and forth, especially when we bring some of our guys in for interviews and stuff.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Just the quips and the funny stuff that we'll build into. But was there anything else you wanted to discuss in this episode here, episode 2 of the In the Shit podcast?
Okay, I got one question.
All right.
What is something that you have? Let's say you collect, or a hobby you have that might be like, like an everyday, like collecting rocks and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like do you have something that, like a hobby you like that might be a little bit more, or something you collect?
That's a real good question. So I'm a tournament paintball player, which is not what you would expect someone of my size to be. But yeah, I love playing paintball.
Nice.
I played with a couple teams in the Alabama X-Ball League. Huh. I've got a bunch of weird paintball stuff upstairs. Nice. I've got 5 or 6 different jerseys from teams I've played on. So I collect that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't feel like anything is super weird. Like I have so many interests.
Yeah.
Like every kid collects knives, I feel like.
Yeah.
I got a ton of knives. I got a couple swords, a dice. I think my brother and I would both consider ourselves dice goblins, for Dungeons and Dragons, which is weird in its own right. Again.
That's some Stranger Things shit, huh?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm actually, I call myself a dungeon master, which you can take that however you want it. But
that sounds like you're in that SMN shit.
It depends on how you look at things.
Yeah,
it really does. But yeah, I enjoy that. What about you? I mean, I feel like to ask that question, you probably got something.
I mean, Okay, so I collect. I know
I saw your scooter collection.
dude. I'm building that thing up. Dude, that thing's badass. and like I have one of the older ones where I got one of the, you ever seen those little bike trailers that they put the kids in?
Yeah.
So I drilled a hole because I got two smaller kids that my son and my daughter that like to go with me, and I got tired of like driving one and coming back. So I mounted this trailer on the back of one of them. I mean, don't get me wrong, it looks redneck as shit.
Oh, well, of course.
But it's badass. You know what I'm saying? And everybody gets to, enjoy the ride together. But I mean, I don't know if you familiar with the Funko Pops?
Yeah.
Okay, I got a large. It started out, trying to get my boys into collecting shit.
Yeah.
And teaching them the, value of collecting, and it turned into like a big hobby and habit for me. Even though I use them as my hey honey, I spent some money on pops for the boys, but she don't buy that no more. But anyway, I got a pretty big collection of that. I used to collect Michael Jordan cards, still have those. And that was one of the smartest things I ever did when I was a kid, and I did a lot of dumb shit when I was a kid, but at least I had enough sense to collect those.
Collect the greatest.
Dude, I'm telling you, like I want to get them valued one day, man, but I just ain't got around to it. But other than that, I don't really have many other hobbies other than just, I mean, actually, I guess coaching kids sports too. That's a hobby I've taken up.
Yeah, that's one thing I was actually telling a friend of mine. We were video chatting the other day, and they were asking me what I've got going on this weekend. I'm like, well, I'm doing a podcast with this guy. And she was like, oh, is he a good friend of yours? I was like, well, we are now. Like, I mean, we never really hung out before, and we're just going to hop right in here with this podcast. But like, what's crazy is, what brought us together on this podcast was how unfiltered we can both be. We both have crazy, wild stories. Our TikToks are out of this world. Like, I mean, just silly stuff. But like, a lot of parents would look at us and say, that's not the guy that I want teaching my kid. But I was a scoutmaster in the troop that I grew up in and got my Eagle Scout in for like 7 years.
Yeah.
And I mean, even the parents would joke because they would be like, I mean, you're not the person that we would have chosen out of the box, but you're doing a good job teaching the kids. And I mean, the same thing for you, like all these other coaches that are, I'm sure they hate seeing you come out there because they're like, this is the dude that's on TikTok and like goofing off all the time.
Oh yeah. And like my antics are kind of, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, my it's funny because I have a horrible mouth. Like I cuss all the time and cutting that off in front of the kids has been so hard, but
I'm sure.
I've been successful for the most part, and like, especially like bullying. Okay. I got bullied a little bit in school because of Tourette's and stuff. Right. And one day, I don't know what happened to me. It was like Office Space. I woke up the next day and didn't give a shit no more. And
I'm done with this.
That's when I came up with the title Bully the Bully. Now, a lot of parents don't like that. A lot of parents are like, oh, you can't, you shouldn't teach your kids to bully. No, they're bullying the people who are bullying them.
Right.
They're turning it around, And like in soccer, I had one of my kids come up to me. And he's like, Coach, the kid over there says I sucks. He's one of my Spanish players, which he was a badass player. He was awesome. And I looked at all my kids and I said, hey, y'all, look at me. I said, y'all hear what happened to him? Yeah. Well, next time someone says that to you, I want you to politely look at them and just tell them, your mama sucks. and I mean, they're all like, oh, like it was like the most amazing thing to them, dude. And my
You're
assistant
giving
coach,
them permission to do that.
Dude, I'm like, hey, man, hey, don't take that crap. I said, I ain't coaching a bunch of sissies. Y'all are gonna tighten up, man. They don't. Hey, I want you to beat them mentally and physically.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's funny because like I'm sure all the other coaches are like, you can't do that, man.
Well,
but you're successful. You won last year, right?
Dude,
you're the champion.
Dude, I did not know shit about soccer. And we went to, at that age group, they have a draft. And like, I told all the coaches beforehand, thinking maybe they'd give me some pointers. Like, hey, I don't know anything about soccer. I've never played, don't know the rules. And instead of like, oh, I'll help you out, buddy. It was, they had this look at each other like, yeah, this is going to be an easy few wins for us,
Right.
And then I lost the first game. And then after that, man, we went on a tear and didn't lose again and won the whole thing.
Won the whole thing.
Oh, and I rubbed that shit in. Like I'm leaving the field and I'm waving by, but while I'm waving by at the other coaches, I have the trophy in that hand that's waving by. Actually,
of course.
Yeah. Oh yeah. and my first games actually, if I play against someone who was one of my, one of my enemies or something like that, I've got a WWE belt, and I'm gonna mount the trophy to it and wear it to the first game. So.
Oh gosh, I love it.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna rub it in.
I mean, you got to, it's as far as cultures have gone back forever. You got to taunt your opponents. It's big. That's where the haka comes from.
I'm all about being like the bad guy, like the Ric Flair back when he was with the Four Horsemen
Turning
type.
heel.
Dude, I'm all about that. I always rooted for the bad guy.
I hear that, and it's one of those things like, I was saying like a battle tactic, the haka. They still do it today. The All Blacks, every rugby match, they're coming out there and they're getting in people's heads.
Oh yeah.
And if you think that doesn't affect people, dude, it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because it makes your brain just act weird. Like because you can't think straight. Like you see some dude coming out here, audacity out the ass with a mullet and the championship trophy stuck on his WWE belt.
I started growing the mullet last season, right? And the whole point of that was for the the look, you know what I mean? Like the whole like that killer looking attitude, like look at this redneck looking, which I'm far from a redneck, but it's just the whole mentality people have when they see you with a mullet.
Yeah.
And then, and that was the thing, man. Like, the parents were looking at me like, what the hell is this guy? Even coaching basketball, a lot of the parents looked at me like, our coach has a mullet.
This is the guy that's teaching our kids.
Hell yeah. But hey, you know what, though? I got a niche for kids, man. I've always been a big kid person. Always wanted to be a father. And, don't get me wrong. I'm not the most perfect father in the world. I mean, I cuss a lot, which I probably shouldn't, but my kids, they don't have bad mouths. For the most part.
I mean, nobody's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's hard managing, our lifestyle of work, and then coming home and then doing that, and then whatever extracurricular activities you have in life. I mean, it's hard to manage, but hey, I do it.
It definitely can be. One thing I'd like to circle back to, you were talking about, telling your kids to bully them right back. So there's been a lot of stuff going on, with politics and everything. And one thing that came up that bothered me a while back was you can't fight fire with fire.
No.
But the thing is, you do fight fire with fire.
That's the whole mentality of what they want you to lay down and get your ass kicked and wait for the police to get there.
Yeah, I'm not about
whatever.
That.
No.
When I say fight fire with fire, if you ever done anything with the fire department or with any kind of fire breaks or anything, a buddy of mine is he went to school to be a forester. That's what he does. He works outside. He's building parks and stuff in Montgomery right now. So one thing that they do is controlled burns. Mm-hmm. So California was on fire last year. Yeah. Australia was on fire. And because there was no management.
Yeah.
Australia was different because nobody could really get out there to do that kind of stuff. But California put things in place to keep from these forest management things happening.
Yeah.
So with a lot of places, you have to go in and maintain these areas. We live right next to the Francis Marion National Forest, and every other month or so, the forest agency is putting out a notice on Facebook, hey, we're doing a prescribed burn here.
Yeah.
If you see smoke, that's why. And they go in, and that's why we haven't had a huge fire in so long.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because you think about that, and the way that they do it, they curb that opportunity for the fire to happen. So another one, if you've ever heard of a fire break. Mm-hmm. So with all the fires that were going on in California, the reason they couldn't stop them is they couldn't get fire breaks in place quick enough.
Yeah.
So they go in and either start a fire going the other direction to meet that fire, mm-hmm. or they'll dig up a trench so the fire can't jump. But the wind is so high out there.
Yeah, well, that wind is what was killing them. Killing the
effort
of it.
Prevention of it. I knew what you meant there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's what's crazy is, people say you can't fight fire with fire, but that's how you fight it.
That's the only way, man. My kids, man, they've come to me with different little bully situations at school. And like I said, my tactics are way different. I think than a lot of parents. A lot of parents are like, well, go tell the teacher. Well, that don't always work.
Right. It very rarely does.
It's gonna make it worse 9 times out of 10. You know, and my one daughter, she was having some problems, and I told her, I was like, dude, it's like you slapped the shit out of that girl one time, and I was like, she is all mouth. She won't do anything. I promise you. Well, I'll get in trouble at school. You let me handle that.
Right.
I'll handle that. Trust me. And it's just like, she never did. And I always tell them something funny I made up. And I still laugh to this day about it. I said, yeah, you got somebody messing with you, and you ready to end it? Say, hey, where you want it, from heaven or hell? And they go, what does that mean? I go, you reach up. It's if they pick heaven, you reach as high as you can in the sky and bring that hand down as fast as you can, slap the shit out of them. They go, what's hell? And I said, they choose hell. Reach your hand down to your foot. Come on up like Venus and Serena Williams, though. Just swipe the shit out of them with that hand.
Tear them up.
Tear them up, man. I was like, you do it one time, they'll back off.
Yeah, it's funny. You know, it's crazy you say that because all it takes in a lot of situations is just standing up.
Dude, that's it. That's
you
it.
know, and it's like in our workplace, I feel like, you know, anytime somebody's being bullied, that's one thing I like about where we work is that, yeah, we pick on each other. But if somebody takes it too far, one of the other ones will stand up and be like, hey, that's enough.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I've seen you do it a couple times. Somebody will be getting picked on for something that, you know, can't change or whatever. And you'll jump in and fight fire with fire right back at them.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
that's a lot of fun to watch.
When I first got there, man, it was like prison. Like I was like fresh meat to them.
Oh, I'm sure.
And like it was a mentality of like, oh, you know, we're going to run this guy. Well, I mean, they didn't know my background. They didn't know where I grew up at. So I was a little bit of a culture shock, I think, to them. The way they're like, Jesus Christ, like, what the hell's this dude's problem? Like, you know, I mean, to this day, I mean, they talk shit about me. They never say my name, and I love that part. It's kind of like, you know who,
right?
I'm like Freddy Krueger or some shit, dude, or Candyman. They won't say my name.
The man who shall not be named.
Yeah.
Well, hey man, I hate to say this, but it's getting pretty late.
All right, yeah.
We gotta. We start working, you know, a couple hours. So
I've got
baths
and shit to do, man, which I'm dreading, but you know what?
I got to get to sleep here in just a minute. So the good thing about the 4-day work week is, you know, how much free time you get on the weekend. But, man, getting up early and getting into work at 6:30 sucks.
Yeah, it does, dude. It does. It kills me, man, especially if I'm getting wrapped up in the show at night and I don't want to go to bed.
Yeah, that's the worst, man.
Like an adult should.
I'll just... Wait, what?
Yeah, man. Like, being an adult, man, that shit sucks, dude.
Yeah, being an adult sucks. Yeah, so hey, man, Curtis, I appreciate you being here again. This is going to be a lot of fun. I mean, I think, you know, just 2 in and we're already 32 minutes in. So this is twice now that, you know, I've looked up and seen that we're at the half-hour mark, and it feels like we've just been chatting this entire time.
Shit,
so
yeah.
that's
good times, man.
That's good. It's not like an awkward first date. It's like we've been together forever.
You know, it's like, you know, going out on a date with a girl that's been around a little bit. You know, your first date, but
she knows what she's doing.
It's not her first rodeo,
right?
One thing though, don't forget to email us some questions or suggestions. Like that's gonna be a big thing for us. If you're interested and you got some input, you want to actually come on the show, let us know.
Yeah,
we'll
for
see,
sure.
We'll see. You know what your thoughts are, what you're about with it.
I'm gonna put some thought into this too because I'm sure there's something that I'm embarrassed about and I'm just blocking it out. But yeah, Curtis is right. Email us intheshit69@gmail.com and we'll talk about it on air. It'll be a lot of fun.
Hell yeah!
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great evening, and this has been Getting in the Shit.
Later.